this afternoon or this morning, whenever it is we're viewing this. We're going to do a little bit of a yoga practice today, some of it on the ground, and then some standing warrior poses as well. So it's pretty much a good all-around practice. Let's start down in a child's pose. So we'll bring our big toes together, take our knees apart, and then ease your hips back towards your heels. You can kind of hang out here for just a little tiny bit and start to shift the weight a little forward and back. Sometimes it takes a bit to get into the hips and into the knees. And then once the lower body's starting to soften and open up, you can put a little bit more into it by coming down completely. Ideally getting your head to rest on the floor if that's available to you. If it's not, you can always guide your hands. Let your forehead rest on your hands, and then let the whole belly relax, the back, the hips, the knees, the shins, the quads, just about everything here in the body. Taking a few breaths. That's why we keep the knees a little bit apart, so that you can get space for some ample breathing, which is so important in our yoga practice. So allowing the joints of the lower body to relax, the muscles around them to soften as well. It actually turns out to be a fairly significant stretch for the lower part of our body. Take your arms out in front of you, tend to your fingertips. So dig the tips of your fingers into the ground and physically push your hips closer towards your heels, encouraging a little bit more space into your spine here. And then press your palms down and lift yourself up to your hands and your knees, bringing yourself up into what we call a tabletop position. Let's take the belly. You're going to let the belly drop while you lift your tail and your chest plants up and arch your back into what we call a calf stretch. And then go the other way. Take the chin into your chest, drop your head, and come into a calf stretch. And then a few more of these. Slowly moving through your spine, getting as much range of motion as you can. While you're doing this, make sure the fingers are spread wide and you're pressing evenly through your hands, your knuckles, the tips of your fingers and such. The weight comes firmly through your arms. Very nice. Good way to get into your back. All right. And then take it back to the center and we'll come into side plank. So we're going to take the left leg, extend the leg back, okay? And then spin your right foot back behind you. Drop the inner left heel on the ground, and then pick up your left arm and open up into this side position here. We're actually balancing on one side of the body. It turns into a good side stretch. So turn your left palm to face your head, and then extend the arm up over your head. So you're getting nice length happening on the left side of your body through your ribs. Keep your left foot flat on the floor as much as possible. Very nice. And then bring the arm back up and see if you can pick up your left leg, right? Working a bit to the balance through your right knee and your right hand, strengthening your left glute by lifting the leg up. Some might even be able to bend the knee, reach back and grab the foot and kick it back. So now you're arching into your back. This is a backward bend, a bit of a balance. It's a great quad stretch as well. Very nice. And then let go of the leg and we'll land everything back down on the ground, okay? Kind of shake out your tail just a little tiny bit. We'll do that on the other side. Take your right leg and extend that back. Tuck the toes under and keep the right heel pressing away from you. Spin your left foot back behind you. Do that for balance. And then drop the right heel down and pick up your right arm coming into side plank on this side. Try and keep your right foot as flat as possible. Turn your right palm towards the head. Extend the arm up over your head. And get nice and long through your right side body, pushing your hips slightly forward. Well done. And then take the right arm back up into the air. And lift your right leg up. Putting a little weight into your left arm here. You can stay here or bend the leg. Reach back and grab the foot. And now you're opening up through the quad and getting a little bit of extension or backward bending to your spine. Very nice. And then gently release and place everything down on the floor. And once again, kind of shaking out the tail and the side body just a little tiny bit. Very nice. Good. So let's tuck our toes. We're going to lift up into a downward facing dog. take your tailbone well up into the air. Press your heels back. See, if you need to bend your knees a little bit to get more length in the spine, that's okay. Sometimes it's the hamstrings that hold us back in this position, and that shouldn't be the case because you can always work around that. Keep the fingers spread wide, tailbone lifts up. Let your heels press down towards the ground, your side body get nice and long. Well done. Love downward facing dog. Even when I can't practice yoga fully in a day, I'll always come into this position for just a few moments. It really just has the combination and the benefits of so many other yoga poses. And then gently release. Let's place our knees down on the floor. Come up to a kneeling position. So we'll work a little bit of warrior twos in our practice. So from our kneeling position, I want you to take your left foot, step it up to the front of the mat. Take your right foot, like you did in the side plank, and just spin it back behind you a bit for balance, and then open up your arms. Good. Settle down into the hips so that you're dropping down into the lunge. You don't want to be back here over your right knee. You want your left knee over your left ankle, and then open up your chest by reaching your arms apart. Well done. Drop down into the hips, though be careful you're not going into the arch of your front foot. You want to stay out of that, maybe keeping the big toe up off the floor so that you stay primarily to the outside of the hip, and that will prevent the leg from collapsing in. Turn your left palm up, reverse the warrior. Lean back, more of a side bend here. Keep the weight forward into your hips. Take your left arm all the way up and lean it back. Beautiful. And take your hands, spiral them back down to the ground. Spin the right foot back behind you, and now pick up your right knee, come into a runner's lunge. So you're pretty deep into your front leg. Place your right palm flat, lift your left arm up, and twist. Turn your spine, a much needed twist now. Open up your chest, reach up through your left fingertips. And take your left hand down on the inside of your left leg, straighten your left leg, and then turn yourself to the right. Drop down into a forward fold. Let your inner thighs and hamstrings start to open up as well. Tailbone lifting up into the air. Let the head of the chest drop down. And keep the weight out of your heels. You can bring it a little bit more towards your toes. Well done. And then slowly bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Well done. Place your hands on your hips and stand up. All right. So we'll take our heels. We're going to turn them in. Okay. The toes will turn out, and then bend the knees and drop down. Right. Start to shift your weight a little bit left and right. So just get a little bit more yumminess into the hips and into the inner thighs. With your hands on the thighs, physically press your outer thighs down, curling the inner thighs to lift up, so that you're getting like what we would call an external stretch in your hips, which is what you want when your legs are in this position. And we go left and right. If you can sink down lower, have at it. I'm pretty much at my threshold right here. And now lift your chest and take your arms into cactus arms. Yeah. Dropping down, maybe a little bit lower. Pull your arms back so that your chest stays open. And then on an inhale, straighten everything out. Stretch up. And then exhale, breathing. Squeeze back down. Nice. Few more times. Inhale, breathing. Stretch up. And then exhale, breathing. Come back down. Good. Two more. Inhale. Take it up. And exhale. Bring it down. Good. One more. Like a big capital X. Stretch. And then squeeze. Very, very nice. Good. Put your hands back on your thighs. Well done. Sit down just a little bit lower. Yeah. And then straighten out your legs. Very nice. And step up to the top of the mat. Coming into a mountain pose. All right. Here we go. Inhale, breathing. Reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Drop down. Good. On your inhale, step back into downward facing dog. Coming back down into the stretch. Good, push the heels down. Back side of the body opens up. Very nice. And then again, put your knees down on the floor and come up to a kneeling position. Good, I'm going to turn around here so that you can see me better on the camera. But we're coming into the warrior two on the other side. So take your right leg forward, okay? Right knee over right ankle. Spin your left foot back, right? Dropping down and then opening up. Good. Chest is down, shoulders are down, or chest is open, I should say. Shoulders are down. As you drop down into your front leg, you reach your arms apart, start to build a little heat into the lower part of the body. Again, keep the weight more to the outer part of your front foot. A little bit of a twist to the spine, that's a good thing. Let's reverse it, turn your right palm up and lean back. So lean away from your front leg, opening up into your right side. And then take your hands, bring them down to the floor, spin the left foot back to where it was, tuck your toes under, and lift your left knee up, coming into a runner's lunge. Get the left hand down, pick up the right arm, and twist. Move your spine, move the muscles around the spine. Right knee points forward. Keep your left leg engaged. Well done. And now bring your left hand down on the inside, right hand down, on the inside of the right leg. Straighten the leg and turn yourself over to the side. Well done. This time we're going to stay half up. So come back to those spider fingers that we did in child's pose at the beginning of the practice. And let's start to shift the weight left and right. And dropping down into the heels. Good. Keeping the chest lifted. And just finding more space into our hips. You want to do this with the feet flat on the floor. Very nice. Good. And then gently from here, come back to the center, and we're going to stand ourselves up. Well done. Good. And again, we'll step up to the top of the mat. This time I want you to take your hands, your feet a little bit wider than your hips. They're still on the mat, but a little wide. Take your arms up over your head, grab your left wrist, lean over to the right. All right, so more of a full side body stretch here from the standing position. Come up and go to the other side. Lean to the left. And come back up to the center. This time take your hands behind you and interlace them. Okay? Put a little springiness into your knees and then drop your head and your chest down into your forward fold here. Your yoga mudra, pulling your knuckles away from your lower back. Let the head and the chest hang down, tail lifts up. And breathe, head hangs. Take the weight a little bit forward towards your toes. Well done. Pull the arms back so the chest can open. Very nice. Let the head and the chest drop down. Good. And then from here, put your hands down on the floor. Again, got a little space because the knees are bent, and step back to downward facing dog. From our down dog, we'll come forward now into plank. Okay? Then put the knees down. Then place your forearms down and come down into Sphinx. Release the tops of your feet and lift your chest up. Relax your glutes and your hamstrings. And let your back compress just a little tiny bit, lifting the heart. Soften your fingers. Let your eye gaze come forward. Very nice. Keep your chest lifted, but the back largely is relaxed. Glutes are relaxed. Hamstrings are relaxed. One more breath. Slowly come down. Sphinx is very therapeutic for your back, very good for your back. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Push yourself up to your hands and your knees, right? Drop your head, drop your tail, stretch it out into a cat stretch. Stretch. And release. Come on up to a kneeling position. Actually, we're going to stand, so let's come back up. Let's take that wide stance that we did a moment ago. This time we're going to take it into Warrior Two. So take your left toes, point them forward, slide your right heel back a bit. All right, so the foot is flat, but it is at an angle. Open up your arms parallel to the floor, and then bend your front leg and drop down into your warrior lunge pose. Very nice. Your eye gaze would go over your left fingertips as you just settle down, taking the weight again to the outer parts of the feet. Avoid collapsing into the arches of your feet. Well done. Take an inhale. We're going to straighten the leg and lean away from it at the same time. This is called reverse triangle. And then exhale as you come back down, bend the left leg. Good. And then again, inhale, lift up and lean back, and then exhale, and come back down. Nice. Again, inhale up, and exhale down. Good. One more. Inhale. Keep the leg straight. We're going to add triangle now. Come forward with your left arm. Deepen the crease of your left hip. Bring your left hand down and take your right arm up. Triangle pose. Good. Firm your legs. Keep your pelvis underneath you so don't stick your tail out, but the chest leans back a bit so your back muscles engage. You feel the stretch really in the front part of your right shoulder a little tiny bit. Well done. And then inhale, breathing. Come back up. Exhale. Bring your hands to your heart. So we'll switch feet, okay? So now you'll take your left heel, slide that back, turn your right toes directly, this would probably be the back of your mat, okay? And then drop down, good, into your right front leg, and open up your arms, good. Breathe, imagine that. Good, putting the weight into the heel, you open up your hips, and reach your arms apart. Eye gaze goes over the right fingertips. This is called Warrior Two pose. Well done. Here we go. We'll flow it into the reverse triangle on this side. Inhale, breathing, straighten the leg, the front leg, and lean back. Yeah. And then come back. Warrior Two. Slow, right? And again, inhale, lean it back. And exhale, and take it down. Good. Again, inhale up, and exhale. Warrior Two. Good. Last one, inhale. And then from here, our triangle pose. And we reach forward, right? Over the leg. Bring the hand down, and take the other arm up. Trikonasana. Use your upper back muscles. Firm up your legs, press your feet flat. Bring the head comfortable. If you want to look up, that's good, but you don't have to. Make sure your neck is comfortable. Keep the pelvis forward. Upper body leans back. And then inhale, breathing. Come on up. Very nice. And bring your hands to your heart. Good. Let's take our feet and walk them in just a bit. Okay, we're going to balance now in tree pose. I'm going to step off the mat onto something a little bit more solid. My left leg, I will stand on. The sole of the right foot, this is a kickstand right at the bottom. My right big toes are on the floor. And then, of course, sliding the foot up. The calf is an option. If possible, and you're allowed to use your hands, you can take the foot and place it to the inner thigh if that's available to you. Keep your left hip underneath you. Don't let it wonk out to the left there. And then when you're ready, reach your arms up over your head. A strong posture. On your standing leg, your back muscles engage with your arms up over your head. Soften your face. Bring your hips a little bit forward. Keep the arms back and lift up. So the more of the lifting action lends well to balance.
quite demanding on your standing leg. Beautiful. Let your arms circle down, back to your heart. Yeah. And then take your leg and place it down. Very nice. Okay. So other side. All right. So standing, what would be my right leg? I'll take the left foot to the inside. Kickstand. If you need that kind of support, that's okay. Right? You can grab the foot with your hand, lift your chest, keep your right hip underneath you. Right. And lift up. Good. Power. Stillness and grace in our balancing position. Soften your eye gaze. Good. Keep your belly in. Nice. And maybe it's a bit of a windy day in the forest and the tree should sway. So be it. And breathe as you reach up and stretch up. Nice. And slowly release. Yeah. And bring the hook down. Your hands back to your heart. Very good. Okay. Let's come down to the ground. Take a seat here with your legs extended. Paschimottanasana here. So sitting up on your sits bones here with your back nice and flat. Reach your arms up over your head and take a forward fold. Come down. Place your hands either on your legs or on the ground. Let your head and your chest hang. Let the arms relax down. And bring space into your upper back. Certainly after all that engagement, you don't think about it, but the warrior and the tree and the triangle and stuff, that works the back muscles. And now we want to lengthen them just a little tiny bit. And then slowly, bring your hands back and lift yourself up. Good. And take your right leg and bend it. Okay. Grab the right knee with your left hand, tent out your right fingertips behind you and twist. Turn your chest towards the knee, drop the shoulders and bring your eye gaze back beyond your right shoulder, excuse me. Stay up and try and get your left rib cage in closer towards your right leg. Good. From here, we'll take it into a gate. So now take your right hand, just lean it back a little bit. Let your right knee fall out to the ground and then lift your hips up. Coming onto your right knee, it's kind of similar to what we did at the beginning of class. Turn your chest towards the ceiling and open up. Well done. And then sit back down. Very nice. We'll do that on the other side. So the right leg extends. Left knee bends. Grab it with your right hand. Bring your left hand behind you. Sit up. Press your right leg down, turn and twist. Shoulders down, eye gaze goes back behind you. Well done. Reach up through the crown of your head. Nice. And then take the left hand, the back hand, slide it back a bit. Let your left knee drop out to the side and then lift up and open up, right? Doesn't have to be very far. I'm not going deep on this side. A little bit tighter in the hips. See if you can open the chest and reach the arm up. Very nice. And then release. Beautiful. Slowly come down onto our backs. And take the right knee, interlace the fingers, and pull the right knee into your chest. Extend your left leg on the floor. Good. Let the right hip kind of pinch out just a bit. Squeezing a bit into your right hip. Keep your left leg flat. Good. Keep your back flat. Very nice. And then switch. All right. Let your right leg relax. Bring your left knee into your chest. Give it a hug. Give it a squeeze. Simple. Basic, wonderful. Wonderful poses here. Pavanamuttasana. Right, your right leg is straight, that left leg pulls way in. Beautiful. And then release. Okay. Bring your both feet on the floor. We'll take one dynamic bridge. So in dynamic bridge, we move our arms with our hips. So as you lift your hips up, take your arms up over your head. Press the backs of your shoulders into the ground a bit so that the head is not really resting, certainly not the neck. And then notice that shoulder strength can really get your hips up and your chest up a little higher. Very nice. And then slowly lower your chest, your hips, everything, your whole upper body, and your arms at the same time. Good. Reach your arms out to the sides, widen your feet a bit, and then very gently, windshield wiper your knees, up the back, open up and relax a bit. From here, we'll take a Shavasana, okay? So I'll close out the video now, but Shavasana, your arms, your legs can be comfortably wide, let's just say. It's a good idea to have your palms facing up, allowing your toes to flop out to the side so you're not holding any tension in your legs, your lower body, your whole body for that matter. And then close your eyes and even allow the eyes themselves to sink deeper into your sockets. And then rest. Just spend it's time well spent in Shavasana. So I'll say goodbye as you rest and until our next video together. Thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying your summer.